Hi, Peter Charles here, Folks for Life Fly Fishing. And let's talk about more rule breaking. This time we'll talk about drowning dries, in particular, drowning caddis dries. Some caddis, particularly hydropsyche, the females actually dive underwater to lay eggs. Other species, when they actually emerge, they don't emerge at the surface, they emerge much further down in the water column, and they literally fly up through the water as adults to actually emerge. So the fish are used to seeing caddis, adult caddis, moving through the water and not just on top. So that should give us a clue. Because the fish are used to doing that, we should be prepared to fish our caddis both on the surface and under the water. And that's why it's handy to know how to drown your caddis dry. Now, a little story. I don't have footage for this, unfortunately, but I think it was around 1989. I went fishing for trout for the first time with a couple of friends. I had fished warm water species, bass, panfish with fly rods, but I'd never gone after trout before. And I was fishing to these rising fish and couldn't get them to take. I had one of these on, an Elk Haird Caddis. And my buddies got fed up with that stretch and we're moving on. And I was like, oh, okay. And I started to move away. My caddis was dragging in the current now and popped underwater, and bam, trout hit it. It's like, whoa, what just happened there? It was my introduction to dry fly fishing, and I caught it subsurface. Okay, I caught the trout subsurface, and I was dry fly fishing for the first time. It was like there was a little disconnect there going on in my mind. Fast forward to fishing the little Juniata in Pennsylvania, and with some friends, and nobody's catching anything, but there was activity everywhere, and the fish were, feeding like mad, and doesn't matter what you threw at them, they wouldn't touch it. And I happened to see, the water was clear, so I happened to see one trout chase something bright going through the water. It looked like white fluttering through the water, and saw it chase it, whack it. And I went, oh, I had an Elk Haird Caddis on. So I just popped it underwater, drifted it, started stripping it like a streamer, bam, fish on. All right? So here's the thing. If you got an idea of the behavior of insects, you don't have to be an entomologist to do this, just get a bit of an idea of what the insects are doing, you know that you can violate the rules. So if you're looking at what we call tan caddis, spotted sedge, hydropsyche is the genus, those species of caddis dive to lay eggs, so you can fish them underwater. As I say, there's also other species that go from pupa to adult in the water rather than on the surface, and you can fish those too. But the Elk Haird Caddis, I mean, it's a great fly if you want to drown it and fish it subsurface. Just swing it and pulse it. Fish will whack the crap out of this thing because they expect to see it underwater. So you just don't have to fish it as dry, you can fish it as a wet as well. And that's where knowing a little bit of how insects behave and what fish expect to see really works in our favor. So don't be afraid to drown or dry, especially if it's one of these. Cheers.